What up, what up? It's Lupe Fiasco wishing Hard Knock TV a very happy 7th anniversary. You know, hopefully many more to come. You heard?
What you see, a bunch of nonsense on my TV. Heaven on earth is what I need, but I feel I'm in hell every time I breathe. I'm live from the outside, what you hear, a bunch of nonsense all in my ear. Rich man, poor man, we all gotta pay. It's free to make free, especially round my way.
The album, tell us a little bit about it, and is it going to be conceptual like the first Food and Liquor?
Food and Liquor 2, Great American Rap album, in stores September 25th. The concept of the record is it's called the Great American Rap Album. The concept of the record is America. So that's kind of like the character. Like the Cool was the character for that album. You know, America is the concept, the subject matter. American history, American phenomenon, American culture, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I use, you know, to kind of, you know, tell the story of the album and build the album around that kind of framework.
I read somewhere that the book People's History of Poverty in America had some influence in that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Just the source material. You know, People's History of Poverty in the United States is based on a People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. This one was written by Stephen Pimpare. And it was basically just, I used it as source material to kind of, I guess, how can I say, to cite from, you know, to get inspiration from different stuff that is found in the album, different songs, different events, different things. So it's not just me just making up stuff, you know, it's more like, you know, transforming this particular story from American history into a song, you know.
It's a 2-part album, or how's that exactly going to work as far as?
It's a 2-part album, part 1 and 2. Part 1 is the first one, comes out September 25th. Part 2 hopefully is early 2013. So it's basically just, you know, take a bunch of songs, 15 on this one, 15 on that one, 2 albums, you know, but under the same title.
First off, say peace to Pine Ridge. Shame at all the damage that the white man wine did. Ghost dance, fell tears, 5 million beers a year, and all that other crime did.
For your first single, you talk about the Indian reservation, but it's only, I think it's only like the first line or so. How much responsibility does a fan also have when they hear something that they might not be up on to actually go and do the research?
None. You know, there's no contract between myself or any musician or anybody that you have to investigate the content that they're talking about. You know, there's no responsibility whatsoever. You know, if you choose to do that, then, you know, more power to you. I think it's just, you know, there's certain things that I'm interested in that I try and share, you know, with other people. You know, but it's people who genuinely just don't care, and not good or bad. It's not relative to them. You know, and then there's certain people who are, you know, who enjoy that, who enjoy just giving like just a piece, and it just creating a reference, and then that's it, you know, because, you know, further investigation is. But for me specifically, like, I actually went to Pine Ridge, you know. I said it first, heard about it from a book, and from BBC News and different kind of news organizations, and then rapped about it, and then I felt it was my obligation to actually go see it, you know. So I actually drove to Pine Ridge, South Dakota, and drove around and actually saw the things that I was talking about for myself, because I knew they existed, but I was still distant. It was still through somebody else. It was still through a newspaper article or through something else, and I felt I had to see it for myself. You know, and it was everything and more. You know, so there are certain people who do that. Certain people who need to know, who won't, you know, fully understand something or fully be able to appreciate it unless they actually go there and see it. You know, and if you don't have something to kick off that thought process, then you probably never go. You know, so that's basically what I do. A little piece, it may resonate and grow into something bigger, or it just, you know, kind of fall to the wayside. So we'll see.
The first single had some controversy, just on the whole Pete Rock thing. Has there? What's the latest with that? Has that been resolved? Or?
No comment. You know, it's a distraction. You know, people care more about Pete Rock than they do about Pine Ridge. So for me, it's just kind of like, that's not why I did the song, to talk about Pete Rock. You know? in this capacity, in this way, via controversy. I did it to talk about Pete Rock as a legend and a pioneer, but I didn't do it to talk about Pete Rock about why he don't like my song. You know what I'm saying? So.
Tell them, bitch bad, woman good, lady better. They misunderstood. They misunderstood. Yeah. Now, imagine a group of little girls 9 through 12 on the internet watching videos, listening to songs by themselves. Doesn't really matter if they have parental clearance. They understand the internet better than their parents. Now,
Second single, Bitch Bad. Can you talk about the mindset going into making that song?
None. It was just me and my, walking in and seeing my little sisters and, watching them on the internet, listening to songs. And I just felt like, I wonder how that song is influencing them. And it wasn't a negative song, it was just a song. I wonder how that song is influencing them. And then the girls across the street, and then the girls next door, and the girls all around the world, and then the little boys all around the world, and then the adults all around the world. How possibly could these songs be affecting us, because it's very naive to say that you can just listen to something over and over and over and over and over again, and it does nothing to you, in some capacity. Especially with kids, they're a little bit more vulnerable because they don't really have a filter, the experience filter, to separate what's fiction and what's fantasy, what's real, what's fake kind of thing. So that song was just kind of like take a concept which is prevalent in music, more so hip hop than anything else, the bad bitch phenomenon and everything that makes that up, and experiment with a little boy in one, capacity, then some girls in another capacity, and then what could possibly happen, if they ever met, how would that play out? So that's all it was. It wasn't me trying to define anything or, point fingers or do anything like that. It was more so just to get the thought process started. Again, just like, mentioning Pine Ridge and Around My Way, just to get the ball rolling. Yeah.
I see diamond-flooded demons, Lamborghini angels, Lamborghini angels, Lamborghini angels. Halos down with the doors flapping when they came through. Halos down with the doors flapping when they came through. With a circle on the floor, he compels him to be pure. Pulls the beast up out his heart, then impels it on a sword. Writes a prayer on some...
I know the third single, Lamborghini Angels, you put a disclaimer on Twitter. Can you elaborate on that? I know it's dropping next week, right?
It drops August 14th. It's just, figured, people have started to discover that people are very sensitive. So specifically with Lupe. So we have to start, it's sad, but it'll be for almost every other song that we do. We'll have to put a warning out for videos and things of that nature, to warn people, that there is some content in here that you're gonna feel, that you may feel a certain ways about. Some people may not care, some people care a whole lot, so we just feel like it's best, if you don't listen to it, that's fine. It's not gonna, I'm not really in it anymore for you to buy 1 million copies of what I make, even if you don't like it, so I prefer to just give you the head start, like, hey, this is something that you may not like, so do yourself a favor and do me a favor, because I don't, the commentary and all of the other stuff is kind of like getting played out. So it's like, look, do me a favor and do yourself a favor. Don't waste your time. The song has elements of this and this, and if those things, if me just stating that this and this makes you mad or gets you agitated, then you definitely shouldn't listen to the song. So it's just that the album will come with a warning. The other songs that we come out that we feel deserve a warning, or videos, or anything that just comes out that we know. So we save ourselves the time and trouble of having to every interview talk about some song.
I feel like you ride the line between artistic creativity and commercialism, and you talked about that duality. Is that a fight that you feel like it's an everyday fight?
No, it's just the nature of being in the music business. That's what you do. You in between creativity and commercialism. One day you gotta balance out between, stuff that's going to get played on the radio, but it's still going to have some artistic, elements to it. So everybody goes through that. I think there's more people who just lean towards more of a commercial stance, and there's people who kind of lean more towards the artistic stance. But I think everybody that's in the music industry, you know, is made up of a little bit of both of that kind of relationship.